This is a big picture talk because, as everyone knows, everyone basically globally has heard of the Klondike Gold Rush of 1896. Just recently, in the last kind of 20 years, the geological model was that the gold, the 20 million ounces of gold, had all been eroded away. It's sitting in the bedrock, sitting in the gravels. You could mine it alluvially, but there's nothing there. Why would anyone look in the bedrock? And so the research that I'm going to show you right now, some of it, including the map, was published 2 weeks ago in our 43-101 Geology technical report, and it completely rewrites the geology of the Klondike. Forward-looking statements, absolutely, and I'll even put that in sentences because I have some in this talk. Basically, very quickly, we're in Dawson in the Yukon. That's our only project. We own 600 square kilometers. It covers the entirety of what you would know of as the historic Klondike Goldfields. Coming up in the next couple of months, we're going to publish our first ever, in the 125-year history of the Klondike, first ever mineral resource in bedrock. We just completed the first ever 43-101 Geology technical report, as I just said, which rewrote the geology. In the big picture, the metallogenic framework has been poorly understood when it's been applied to the Klondike. And again, that's an age dating thing. Geology and mineralization of the Klondike was considered to be Jurassic, so 160 to 180 million years of age. In the Jurassic, absolutely nothing is happening in gold. It's boring, whatever. What we see in the Klondike is the geology is significantly younger, or the gold is significantly younger, and it correlates with what was happening in the California gold, or the California Gold Rush, also in Russia. These are two of the most prolific gold belts from a alluvial placer perspective. Underneath those, there's been multiples of gold in terms of, in California, 40 million ounces of gold found in alluvial placers. Over its 220 million ounces plus found in bedrock mines since then. In Russia, I have the stats there. It's like 400 million ounces or 100 million ounces of placer, 400 million ounces of gold and counting. In the Klondike, 20 million ounces of gold sitting on surface, no known source, zero production, or nobody's found any until now to date. Except that what? Look at all the gold. This is all from our Klondike golds, alluvial and hard rock. So the top left picture is bedrock gold. That was a 75 grams over 3 meter gold in drill core intersection. It was the first discovery I made in 2015, proving there actually is gold in the bedrock. This is the map. So on the left-hand side, not that it really matters to you, this is what the map looked like. This is a Geological Survey of Canada showing the distribution of rock units. Note there isn't a fault on it. Despite the fact that the Klondike is an orogenic gold deposit area, you need a fault, which is gold mineralized, to have an orogenic mineralized system. On the right-hand side, basically what you see, the lithologies were mismapped. And there are 3 major crustal structures that run the length of our Klondike district. Each of those is mineralized, we know, and there's an enormous amount of potential here. And that explains why the Klondike has been mischaracterized and why really nobody's found any gold there in the modern age. As a result of this, we've approached a bunch of research partners we have now. I'm really excited about this, but basically we're being funded by the National Science Foundation in the US because this has geological implications for the world. We're also getting funding potentially from NSERC, which is the Canadian version of the National Science Foundation, plus a PhD and MSc honors and other research work. When Gold Corp, now Newmont, did this to the coffee deposit, which is very same geology as in the Klondike, the Jurassic mineralization they thought they had is now dated at Cretaceous 100 million years, which is what we think we have. So coming up in a couple of months, those red blobs there are going to form the basis of the first ever mineral resource in the Klondike. The red blob on the left is our Lone Star zone. That is the source of Bonanza Creek placer. And on the right, those 2 little blobs are the Standard zone. That is the source of Eldorado Creek placer, and our year's work this year is to drill between the two red blobs on the right in the standard zone and expand it. And so forward-looking statement, next couple of months, we're looking at a 500,000 to 1 million ounce resource in bedrock being initiated, and we have an 8,000 meter drill program to go between those two dots on the standard zone to get it over 1 million ounces, forward-looking statement, sometime next year, where we hope we combine that with a PEA. So that's what we're doing. Thank you very much.